Thank you all for coming. We're so proud to get to have this conversation with you this evening and hope you walk away as inspired and motivated to go out and champion the tech story of Denton as we are. My name is Hutch Ice, and I, along with my partner in crime here, Randy Skinner, tonight we're going to walk you through a story, the story of how we're going to make Denton the most connected city in North Texas. While we have multiple action items to share, ultimately, we're going to talk about why the city of Denton needs a technology council. We want to engage you this evening, and we'll provide you the opportunity for Q&A at the end. So tonight, I'm going to frustrate every educator in the room. Everyone, pull out your phones and get your fingers ready to send in your questions. You can tweet your questions with hashtag DentonTechSays or text 91011 with the keyword DentonTechSays, followed by your question. Thanks for coming to take this journey with us. And without further ado, let's get started.
We have significant and exciting tech initiatives already happening in Denton. One of the challenges we've uncovered is that we're all on different tracks, a switchyard. We want to talk about how we can get out of the switchyard and, as a city, align onto one unified track.
So, before we dive in, let's talk about why we're here today and our research process. The Progressive Policy Institute identified Denton as number 6 in the top 25 leading locations for high-tech jobs in the U.S. This is amazing because it already begins to tell the story of how Denton is a force to be reckoned with when it comes to our established tech community. Simultaneously, it also highlights that we do have room for improvement. As a team, we begin to assess the state of the tech community in Denton.
Our project asked us to determine how we can attract and retain talent, build infrastructure, and grow upon what Denton already has, ultimately answering the question, how do we build the tech community in Denton?
Exactly, Randy. The 2016 Leadership Denton class is composed of 18 leaders with diverse backgrounds, and we are all on different tracks in the Denton community. When we started talking about what tech means, we came to the conclusion that each individual had a vastly different understanding of tech. Honestly, our initial conversations were pretty narrow in scope and focused on internet and connectivity. But think about it. Tech and tech community is so much more than that. So we backed up and we asked ourselves, what can we do as a city? How do we find out what our problems are and simultaneously what we're doing really well?
So, like any good investigator, we determined that the best way to gather this information was to get out into the community and have meaningful conversations with various stakeholders. We talked to the City of Denton, higher ed, business owners both in and outside the tech sector. We had conversations with our fellow residents, associations, and organizations. We talked to regional leaders who champion tech in their communities and individuals who work in and are truly vested in the success of the tech industry. We talked to startups and reached out to CIOs, chief information officers of major companies. These conversations led us to two key points. First, Denton is a gold mine for the tech savvy. We have amazing tech initiatives already occurring within the city, and we have a pool of talent at each of our 3 universities. Second, similar to our group conversations, we realize that tech and tech community have a different definition to every stakeholder within the city, and we're all on different tracks. So let's talk about this gold mine and the tracks that have already been laid. We will call this our Did You Know segment.
Hey, Randy, have you ever heard of that site YouTube?
I think I know a thing or two about YouTube.
Well, did you know that it uses a programming language called Python? It's one of the many coding classes that you can check out today at the Forge.
Isn't the Forge that technology-focused makerspace with the neat 3D printers at the Denton North Library?
And it's amazing. Look what I printed for myself there the other day.
Proof, ladies and gentlemen, that you're never too old to learn a new technology.
Was that an old joke?
Speaking of new things, did you see the construction across the street on Hickory on your way in today?
Oh man, did I? What's going on over there?
Well, did you know a few tech-minded businesses, Swash Labs and Premium Beat, just moved in there? But I'm super excited to go and visit Stoke.
Oh yeah, Stoke. That's the new co-working and entrepreneurial center. It's inside the rail yard. It opened this summer, right? I've heard it has blazing fast internet.
Exactly. The rail yard is that new mixed-use development across the street on Hickory. But the secret sauce is the tech entrepreneurial flair. Rail yard represents the power of a partnership between the City of Denton, developers, business owners, and corporations. If you remember nothing else about it, remember collaboration space, job creation, and it has really fast internet.
So it sounds like it utilizes what makes Denton great, partnerships that are constantly working to build and grow our city. Hey, Randy, speaking of growing, did you know that Bloomberg recognized Denton to be one of a few cities to participate in their What Works Cities initiative? Denton will receive support from the organizations across the country that have been endowed with over $42 million available from this program. The initiative is going to make public data more usable for the city and its residents.
Wow, I feel so much more in the know now that I know about the gold mine that is tech in Denton.
Da-da-da-da. So let's shift gears a little and go back to our second point. Tech means different things to different people. So tonight, some of you may be sitting here wondering, why tech?
Well, if we told you all about it, we'd be here all night. So, a few highlights. All professions require technically competent workers. Mechanics, nurses, educators, all future job seekers will need a strong tech foundation in order to compete. Tech pays more. In fact, lifetime earnings for tech jobs are proven to exceed all other professions, including legal and medical. Tech jobs are greener. They require small building footprints and little environmental demand. Tech is education-based. Realistically, tech requires education and little else. Denton has one of the highest densities of educated citizens compared to any community in Texas. In fact, there are over 50,000 students being educated today in Denton. But most importantly, tech is hiring now. In 2024, there will be 1 million tech jobs that won't have qualified applicants, jobs that lack a properly trained and educated workforce to fill. If we could capture even 0.5% of these 1 million jobs, it could net an additional 5,000 new jobs to Denton. But the schools cannot accomplish this alone. The community has to help, which leads us to why Denton?
People used to move where the jobs were located. Now, companies want to locate where talent is, and a talented workforce wants to live where they can mingle with other creative types. There's no denying that Denton is a hub for the music and entertainment culture, which fosters a creative lifestyle while still enjoying a lower cost of living. We have a vibrant community centered around our downtown area. We were voted the most livable city in Texas the past 2 years, and we're one of the top 25 fastest growing American cities. Our vibrant city is so attractive to the tech sector.
So we've talked about why tech, we've talked about why Denton, and this brings us back to our original question. How do we build the tech community in Denton? Our task of developing a plan to build this community may sound simple, but it is truly one of the most complex and complicated questions being posed with the city today. If you came here today for a simple solution, you're not going to walk away with that. Instead, we want to challenge you. For the remainder of our time together, think about where you'll be able to serve and how you can get on board and be an advocate for the tech community in Denton.
So, how many hear the word tech and immediately get a little uncomfortable because you just don't consider yourself to be the most tech savvy? Well, guess what? You're in good company because the majority of our group, other than Rob, felt the same way in September when these same questions were posed to us. So, we want to simplify things. Close your eyes for a minute. Imagine walking into a bustling train station. People are traveling place to place. The trains are coming and going. The tracks are crossing and intersecting in a dizzying array. But in the chaos, there's order. The trains travel a path to get places further, faster, and with greater ease. That's our vision for Denton Tech. We want to go further, faster, with ease.
Today, we sit in a switchyard with all these tracks going different directions. While movement does occur, like Hutch said, it's chaotic. What could happen if we get out of the switchyard, if we move into one single unified track that helps us move along with ease, allowing us as a community to maximize our resources? The task assigned to us was to build a plan to grow the tech community in Denton. Our solution? A tech council, a unified track.
Today, we're advocating for the creation of a partnership between key stakeholders in the community to create the Denton Technology Council. This council can be the means for driving this train forward. But why, you ask? Because Leadership Denton has taken a look at the key players in the tech community. Cities who, like Denton, understand that the tech sector is growing and vital to the community's future and economic development. The cities that are leaders in building tech community, cities that are doing it right, Chattanooga, Austin, San Antonio, Baltimore, Boulder, even Dallas, all advocate for and maintain strong tech alliances, which are partners in enhancing tech and tech community.
No journey would be complete without a clear path. This is the unified track that the council, its leaders, and members of the community will get on, ultimately making us the most connected city in North Texas.
All right, Denton, it's go time. We're getting on one track with one final destination. And here's how we're going to do it. We do have several stops along the way. We mentioned earlier that tech is education-based. We must increase access to technology-based education. We have a variety of educational programming already being offered at the Forge, UNT, TWU, NCTC, Denton ISD, even organizations like TechMill. But we need to understand the commonalities in the curriculum. We need to work to increase the number of tech ed hours, diversify our programming, and not duplicate our efforts. Here's how we can improve and increase access to tech education. We advocate that the Denton Technology Council and education stakeholders have a tech educator meetup to start a conversation about how they can leverage each other's resources. The Denton Technology Council will work to double the hours of available tech education by the end of 2017. The first step, we need to identify new community locations to host programming. Think about this. TechMill annually provides an estimated 200 hours of open education. If the Denton Technology Council were able to partner with TechMill and double their amount of educational offerings, this one organization could provide 10 full-time work weeks worth of open education in Denton. You remember those million computer science jobs that won't have qualified applicants in 2024? These are the tech education programs. They're a platform to help capture those unfilled jobs and bring them to Denton. Finally, the Denton Tech Council will work with these institutions, along with local businesses, to increase the number of tech internships available by 10 times in the next 5 years.
Education leads to jobs. Focusing on the tech education sector is one way to attract new technology businesses. He's got the talent.
You're right, but it isn't enough just to build our human capital, so our next stop is about incentives. We advocate that the Denton Tech Council will meet with the Economic Development Partnership in the next 6 months to structure economic incentives for technology companies. The Denton Technology Council can create a plan to provide incentives for both current and new businesses. How cool would it be to have a plan that rewards Denton businesses that hire graduates from UNT, TWU, or NCTC?
I love that the Tech Council will be looking for ways to reward innovative businesses. When Leadership Denton was looking at technology councils around the country, we noticed that each one told a story of what made their city unique. And that's our next stop on the track. Denton needs to brand ourselves in the tech sector. Let's understand what Denton is great at already and build upon that. A good branding plan takes a look at what you're already known for and fills the gap to get to where you want to go. Here's 5 areas Denton is already known for and has the potential to build its brand upon: bootstrapping, events, data centers, tech information jobs, and edutech. Our bootstrapping startup scene is something that we're known for. This mentality is something that everybody knows about us, and we have the resources from our local universities and organizations. So why are startups important? Economists have estimated that every high-tech job creates an additional 5 spin-off jobs. Denton is known for our events. Let's add tech segments to every Denton event. Let's highlight to visitors that Denton is synonymous with and understands tech culture. We're already known as an event hub. Let's be known as a tech event hub. Let's think about data centers. Denton was already ranked in the top 10 best cities for data centers. Data centers are the foundation of the internet. How about reaching out to businesses in this sector and seeing who we can bring aboard? Next, let's focus on the type of jobs we're already known for. We were named the number 6 city when it comes to tech information jobs. If we build upon these type of jobs, we can create partnerships and education programs around them. We're already known for education. Let's be known for educate. Let's be known for edutech. Let's find ways to use technology in order to improve education. The Denton Tech Council will focus business and education programs around our tech brand.
So, now that we've defined what we're great at, let's work to increase capital for these areas. We need to expound upon traditional economic development ideas and look towards non-traditional funding. What's working in other areas of the country, in those cities that we researched, to fuel the train and provide the capital needed to get to each station? How can we increase capital? First, let's create an accelerator. We need mature Denton business leaders to coach and support bootstrapping startup tech firms. Let's access new funds. Let's utilize the tech segments injected into our events to generate new funds. South by Southwest, with its tech-based segment, South by Southwest Interactive, generated over $317.2 million into the Austin economy last year. What impact would the extra economic boost from an event like this have on Denton? Let's develop new tech events that get access to hot funds or the hotel occupancy taxes. We need to look to funding available from national businesses and organizations. I work for Wells Fargo myself, and I consider myself really knowledgeable about our company. When we were researching other tech councils, I was really surprised to see that our technology banking group has created a Wells Fargo Startup Accelerator. How many other businesses that operate in Denton have similar resources out there that are not being taken advantage of? NCTC recently received a $4.6 million RETA grant. A portion of this grant money enables NCTC to provide tech training. How amazing is that? Last but not least, the Denton Technology Council, it's going to work to have a goal of being self-funded through its membership platform.
Now, any technology chat would not be complete without discussing infrastructure, or as most of us know it, internet. We need to help address the digital divide that exists in Denton today. Denton ISD has established an amazing fiber infrastructure, but the digital divide still exists. While these students have access to high-speed internet at school, many don't at home. In fact, a significant portion of Denton students at home and don't have reliable access to the tools they need most, like high-speed internet. RailYard, the development we spoke about earlier, represents a prime example of the power of the city partnering with service providers such as Charter and Frontier to build out and enhance high-speed offerings in Denton. So what's our next stop? The Denton Tech Council will have the ability to help continue the great work that the city has already accomplished by taking the internet package that was created for the RailYard and expanding it to other businesses and residents, helping bridge that digital divide.
Now, just like any rail line, not everyone's going to get off at every stop. Randy challenged you earlier to think about where you can serve and how you can get on board being an advocate for the tech community in Denton. So, which stop are you the most excited about today? Where are you going to hop on? These stops will allow Denton to attract and retain talent, build our infrastructure, and grow the tech community in order to make Denton the most connected city in North Texas. So, what's it going to take? We need our stakeholders to unite, be advocates, and take action. So, UNT, TWU, NCTC, Denton ISD, what stop are you going to get off at? Organizations in the community, like the Chamber of Commerce, Economic Development, City Council, our community leaders, citizens, the Denton business community, and especially tech businesses. What stop are you most passionate about?
We've identified the quick wins. What can we begin to accomplish by the end of 2016? What can we do in the next 6 months? First, we can identify key leaders and ambassadors to be a part of forming the Denton Technology Council. And let's begin to form the council. Next, educators, UNT, TWU, CISD, NCTC, and organizations that are already having tech education programs. Let's formalize a meeting to talk tech curriculum and figure out how to scale it. Then we can have the Denton Technology Council and Economic Development Partnership begin to create a plan for tech economic incentives. Let's create a strategic plan to create a tech brand. And then in the next 6 months, let's begin to develop that plan for making Denton known as a tech event hub.
That sounds fantastic, Randy. Now, these are certainly not the only initiatives or stops along the track, but it's our starting point. It's where we're going to unite and converge onto one track. Forming Denton Technology Council will formalize Denton's investment in attracting tech, and it's a beacon to the greater tech community that Denton is serious about being innovative and forward-thinking.
So picture this: a dedicated team available to help court potential businesses in the tech sector, a source to identify the right tech companies to bring to Denton based upon our tech brand, a tool for the stakeholders, for the chamber, the city council, economic development, higher ed, to all utilize in order to streamline everything related to tech and growing the tech community. Imagine all the key players in the Denton technology scene coming together and getting on one solid track. That's the Denton Technology Council.
So sitting here tonight, you believe that Denton has the opportunity to be a competitive leader in the tech industry, to retain that tech talent, to grow those tech companies here today, and attract the new means of capital? Then together, we can make Denton the most connected city in North Texas. We will grow the tech community in Denton by creating the Denton Technology Council and uniting to accomplish these initiatives.
So, who's ready to jump aboard? So we're recommending a tech council, but we don't have all the answers. So what's next? We need everyone to go to denton.technology and let us know what you thought about this presentation and how you want to plug in to the Denton Technology Council. When you go to the website denton.technology, you will have the ability to give feedback and tell our class how you would like to plug in. So we appreciate your time, and we open the floor to questions. Thank you to everyone who helped make this possible.